Bonjour tout le monde. How are you doing? It's me again, I know. I don't post for at least a month and then too much of me, but it's just getting into habits with these things, isn't it? And then just natural. But I had a few comments from the posts I put up yesterday. Thank you in particular, V, Robbie and Brian. And there was somebody else as well, I've forgotten. Sorry, I should write down these things, but I always appreciate all the comments. They're very helpful to me. And I just thought, what was I trying to get across when I was whittering on about my situation and how better communication was necessary? That was the main point, actually, but I thought from a more Neville Goddard-ish Bible way, do not judge was what I was trying to get across. And I found where that scripture is in the Bible, and it's Luke chapter 6, verse 37. So I'm just going to read from just before it to just after. And it's Jesus, and he's telling us this is what you should do. I mean, it's not advice, it's just saying this is what you should do. And it's not to be a more moral or more ethical person, although some people would say that you were. It's for your own good. It's for you, first and foremost. And yeah, I guess so you're happy, and so that you use your power within you to the best of your ability, so that you can have what you want on this earth and grow in your spirituality, amongst other things. So it starts off, I'm going to start on verse 35. It doesn't start there, but it's important. But love ye your enemies. Love your enemies. Not just don't hate them, but you have to love them. And that's a bit of a stretch for most of us. But it's a good reminder, because essentially it's because everybody is yourself pushed out. Everybody in the world is yourself pushed out. You've imagined everything in your particular world, because the power within you, the imagination within you, is God, and everything is from God. So that's what I think the bottom line is. If you don't love everybody, you're not loving yourself. And whatever you give out to the world is what you are going to get back. So if you can't love people because they're other human beings and, well, it just feels the right thing to do, doesn't it? Then start off by loving them, because you're loving yourself by doing that. And you don't want to hurt yourself, do you? I mean, when I maybe have a disagreement, or like, for example, say if I speak in a bit of an impatient way to my mother, maybe I just get a bit frustrated. I did about a week ago. And it wasn't like we didn't have an argument. It was just, suddenly all my frustration just came out on the phone. I was like, ah! And I surprised myself raising my voice. And afterwards I thought, why did you do that? You always feel bad when you lose your patience. And then afterwards I find it harder to say sorry. Big failing of mine. And I feel a bit, I feel hurt inside. So if I can't do it for her, then I need to just remember afterwards, I'm going to feel it. And I create a situation then. And then and so I just thought in my head, I always try and correct things afterwards, which is a form of revision. Thank you, Brian, for that comment, by the way. Revise things if they've gone wrong, if you see them as going wrong afterwards. So think of, imagine how you would have liked them to go, and then rest in that feeling that everything's good. And I think I usually do that. I usually do that automatically, not in a very strong sense. Maybe I need to use my imagination more, but I think of what should I do next time as well. And I just think don't get to that point. But if you do, because it's definitely likely, say sorry in the moment. Just say, look, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to raise my voice, but sometimes I get frustrated, sorry. Much easier to do it in the moment than later on, always, I think. I'm sure you know that anyway. So there you go. I've gone off on a tangent already, and I'm only 6 minutes in. I'm going to read the scripture all the way through now. But love ye your enemies, and do good, and lend, hoping for nothing again. And your reward shall be great. And ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. Sorry, I went wrong at the wrong part there, didn't I? For with the same measure that ye meet, withal it shall be measured to you again. So whatever, as I was saying, whatever you give out, you get back. And you get back more. That's what he's saying. If you don't judge, then you won't be judged. If you don't condemn, you won't be condemned. If you forgive, you'll be forgiven. And yeah, I think this is just generally because everything around us, our environment, is coming from us. So if we could see that, see that even in emotionally heated moments, and just like drill it into our brains, integrate it, then we would be less likely to react and to maybe just observe in the moment or take a step backward and have more of a calm, more detached view from it, and we're more able to deal with it in that moment or afterwards. It's fine. So I think I need a reminder every day, a reminder that objective reality is coming from me, and how I feel and how I perceive others is what I'm getting back. So it's so important to really imagine who you want to be, and then the outside world is going to reflect that, because this is all true. And we do that, but I think sometimes we forget with regards to people, because people can be a real problem to us. Yeah, they say sometimes hell is other people, don't they? But without people, well, life would be very lonely and meaningless. So it's just sometimes we feel, well, I like people who are like me, but when they're not like me, don't really like them, want to avoid those kind of people. But we're all different. There's no two people who are alike. And so I think we all need to learn to understand others more and not feel threatened if they have a different view to us. Not feel that we have to say what our view is if their view is different. And I understand why people do that, for clarity. And it's about your own identity as well. You feel that maybe you're disappearing if you don't say your own view. But there's times when I've listened to somebody, they're like, okay, and I'm showing understanding, but I'm not saying, yes, I agree with you. And then I feel, oh, now I need to say, yes, but I totally see where you're coming from, but I actually think this. And I've stopped myself because I thought, why do I feel the need to stamp my view on the situation? You know, they haven't asked me what my view is. They want to tell me what their view is. That's fine. So I deliberately haven't said anything, and I've just gone, okay. And I don't know the situation, but I can see it now. People smiling, and they just assume that you agree with them because they would say their view. And I just haven't said mine because I'm being open, and they assume that you agree with them. But who cares really what they think? It's how you feel afterwards. Is that sufficient for you? Can you just let it go that you don't need to give your view all the time? Anyway. What's the answer to this? What am I trying to say? With judgment, it's something that all of us do. The best of us do that. And the thing is, we feel that we are like, I don't know how to say it, not helping ourselves, but there's some sense of superiority there. When we're judging in our minds and we're thinking, well, that person said that and I don't think that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just getting it straight in my head that that's not right. And this is the right answer. My view is the right answer. But actually, it never ends. You don't just sort it out. It just keeps coming back to you. And if somebody's annoyed you and you've judged them for it, what often happens is this ongoing conversation in your head where you make yourself right and you make them wrong. And you're having an argument with them because maybe they've offended you or hurt you. And you think once the argument is over in your head and you've won it, that's it. And you're going to feel much more satisfied, but you don't. You just keep coming back to it because you've stirred up the emotions. And I don't know, it's never over. Well, I guess it is over eventually when the emotions come down. But it just keeps going on and on and on. That's my experience of it. So I feel judgment leads to self-justification. You're justifying why you're right and they're wrong, which is inner talking. And that leads to some kind of situation appearing in objective reality that mirrors that you wouldn't really choose to have. So the best way to prevent this is, as always, number one, awareness of what's going on, first of all. So maybe you start off judging somebody and you really want to keep on judging them, but at least you're aware of what you're doing. And you take a step back from it and just think to yourself, right, I'm judging this person now. And I feel like I'm right, but deep down, I know, under the emotions, I know that we're just coming from two different views. And they think they're right, and I think I'm right. But it's just an opinion, it's not fact. So try and see it then from the other person's view and imagine why they feel that way. And then that helps you to detach a bit and feel less strong emotions about feeling wronged, maybe. And that's the first thing you need to do. You need to try and kill those emotions a bit. And then you could look at your belief behind the situation from, Neville Goddard, really. That they are a part of your reality in this world. And so how they've responded to you is actually coming from you. So what does that mean? And try and look a bit deeper into the situation and learn something from it. And that always feels very satisfying when you learn from things like this. And just, don't see it as there's you and there's the other person. Try and see it more that you're one, because that's how it actually is. Start moving away from seeing things as dualistic, how we've been brought up to see the world, and start seeing it as one. And just get back into that view, that belief, that truth, as soon as you can. So it becomes second nature. And then after a while, I'm guessing, it's just like that. You're much more calm in these situations, in the actual moment, no matter what somebody's saying to you, because you are seeing it like that. It's when we see the other as being separate from us that we really judge, obviously, isn't it? And that's when we can really hate somebody, because we don't see them as being part of ourselves. But if we gradually re-educate ourselves to see the other as being part of us, then we are really going to love our neighbour, because we don't want to hate ourselves. We want to love ourselves. So that's how I see it. It's a re-education. It's forming new habits so that, we can be happier. We can have a happier life and grow spiritually. Objective reality is ourselves pushed out. I don't know where I began with this. I think that's got to stop you from getting angry, really, because if you're seeing the other as yourself, you can get angry with yourself. I get angry with myself sometimes. I get frustrated because I want things to be perfect, I suppose, and they're not. But I think this would really help with our dealings with people, if we can always try and see them as being part of us. So is there anything else I want to say on that? So part of us, contemplating what the meaning is. Oh yeah, that's it. And then revising the situation. Thank you, Brian, for reminding me of that. So if you have got into some kind of disagreement, then imagine how you would have liked it to have gone over and over again until you feel the reality of that, and then rest in that feeling and just believe that that's how it was. So you're just correcting it, and do it as soon as possible. When I've thought to do that, I usually do it straight afterwards, although Neville Goddard speaks about revising situations at the end of the day before going to sleep. So, I mean, I think both are good. If you can revise a situation straight afterwards, and then before you go to sleep, you go through the day and imagine it as you would have liked to have lived it, and then you sleep on that, then, you know, that's the best way of doing it, I think. Okay, so what do you think of that then? Any comments on that? As I said, essences do not judge, because from that you will form your objective reality. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind when you're dealing with opinions that are very different to your own. And I know sometimes when it's very different from how I believe, I can feel a tight feeling inside. And I think that's me, some kind of reaction to me holding on to this constructed identity through the ego. Because it's like, you know, it's not what I believe, and this is right, what I believe, so I'm going to go. And just be aware of that. You don't need to change it. It'll change itself eventually. Remain open as far as you can. Try not to judge, knowing that the other is yourself pushed out. Learn from the situation. Think about what that situation is trying to tell you. And yeah, stay positive throughout these interactions, and that's all you need to do. But if you do react, then revise it and just keep assuming that you are the person you want to be and you have achieved what you want to achieve. Keep assuming that. Don't feel down that things aren't going your way and it's never going to happen. When you feel that feeling, which we all do sometimes, just see it as a reminder that you need to keep assuming that it's done. And as I said in the other clip, creation is finished. So your dream, your particular dream, is in the ether, for want of a better term. You know what I mean, in the invisible. It's there. And the only way of bringing it out is to believe that it is so right now. And to keep believing that, and to have that faith. And the substance it is made of is faith. So you can't lose if you have faith in it. It's going to manifest sooner or later. It's just when. As I've said before, Neville Goddard had a brother, and it took him 2 years to manifest owning a building. And he'd go there twice a day, and he'd see his name on the building. It was in the morning and at lunchtime. And his faith was really strong, because a lot of people would have given up after a much shorter time than that. But he kept going with it, and 2 years later, he owned the building. A man he knew offered to buy it for him as long as he paid it back over the years. And I don't think there was any interest on it either. No, I don't think he charged him any interest, and they were friends for the rest of their lives. And he made a lot of money on that, and they became millionaires, the whole family. And I think that's how Neville Goddard was able to teach, only ever charging for the hall that he taught in. That's all. He just wanted to cover basic costs. And so people could hear these really great teachings live for, I imagine, very little money. And I always appreciate that about him, that he was such a great speaker. He could have charged what he wanted to charge once he became well known. Because can you imagine sitting in the audience and listening to him? It'd be so amazing. And to be able to ask him questions. I mean, we're so fortunate that we have the recordings now. And it feels like I'm there sometimes when I listen. I have, I think it's called the Apple iPod or whatever it's called. And the other day, I accidentally played Neville Goddard from it. It's just like a little speaker. Got it over here, I'll show you. There you go. Ta-da! And it's only small. Only cost me like £99 or something. Although I pay £10 a month.
R.I.P. Groove, radio edit by Double 99. Now playing.
Siri, stop. Hey Siri, oh no. But this is what happens, you know.
Here are some films
Hey
matching
Siri,
Moana.
stop. So funny. And it's not stopping now. Hey Siri, stop. I'm just saying how good that is, and it's not listening to me. And sometimes I will just say something to myself and it starts talking, and it gives me such a shock. This is actually sounds quite good. Hey Siri, I like this.
Okay, got it.
So when you say I like this, it remembers and it plays it another time. So, God, I wanted to play you some Neville Goddard on there, but I don't think it's going to happen at the moment. Hey Siri, pause. Okay, right. Because I'm just realising I'm going to have to get on my phone and then, you know, hit play, and then it'll play from that. Anyway, sorry about that interruption. I managed to play Neville Goddard from that speaker the other day, and it was some teachings I hadn't heard before. It was just audio online. And his voice was so clear, and I just felt it's like he's in the room with me. It was so lovely. And also, I played him from the TV on YouTube, and that was really good sound as well. I've got something called, is it a goggle or something, whatever. You just plug it into the back of the TV, £30, and you can play anything from YouTube. So that really helps me being able to hear him regularly, good quality sound, and just lie back on the sofa and listen to Neville Goddard. And it always makes me feel more positive. It's just a reminder that this is what reality is. And you can get down from objective reality sometimes, but you just listen to him and he'll bring you back up again. He's great. Oh, and something else before I go. I contacted a radio station for the blind recently. God, don't ask me how I got onto that, and it's in Los Angeles. Can you believe that? I was, I don't know how I got onto it, but I've always wanted to do some voluntary work for the blind. And I just feel that I'm I'm not really massively disorganized, because I'm a teacher and I do juggle a lot of things. So I've got a certain level of organization, but it's never good enough for me. And I feel like the place is never tidy enough. I've always got loads of things I need to do that I never achieve. And I get frustrated with myself. But despite this, I still felt I want to do something. And I was looking up, I was thinking reading, that was it, reading audio, doing audiobooks as a volunteer. And then it came onto this radio station in America. And I just instantly felt, oh, Yeah, America, yeah. Maybe it's possible because distance wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing because you can record at home and send it off. So maybe it's possible. And yeah, I just like the idea that Neville Goddard was in America, I suppose, and then to do this. And I thought, why not do recordings about Neville Goddard for the blind? I mean, it doesn't make any difference, does it? Because it's helping all of us, as long as you can hear his message. And then I was thinking about the visualization, because we always imagine, you know, the image in our minds and seeing it. But it doesn't make any difference. Like with a blind person, say if somebody's always been blind, so they don't know what color is and they wouldn't be able to do that. As long as you're imagining how it would feel to you, that's the main thing. They're experiencing the world. So like, you know, how would that feel if this thing happened to you? And that's all you have to do. But it's a certain belief that a lot of people don't believe. So the small amount of people listening to a radio station for the blind, they might think, oh, this is a bit crazy. And but it's an idea, you know, it's something I believe in, and I'm going to speak to her later, so see if I can explain it. So that's just something I thought I'd mention. Right, I don't seem to ever be able to speak for a short amount of time, even though I say it's going to be, but I hope some of that's been helpful to you. It's been helpful to me, and I really look forward to your comments again. Thank you so much for listening. And as usual, if you like, please like, and I send you all my positivity out there. Okay, have a great day, people. Take care and speak to you soon. Bye.